let me just say this about Spike, anybody else, all the critics, anybody else. You know, it's only black people that do this to each other. I have never
Allow me just to express this about Spike or any other person, every one of the pundits, any other person you know, just individuals of color do this to one another. I have never seen Jewish individuals griping about Seinfeld. I've never seen Italian individuals grumbling about The Sopranos, just us as Negroes do this to one another. And I can't fix it. Booker T. Washington and Webb de Young Men did it of us pursue decisions. I believe it's anything but a greatest decision. For others I'm expressing. Um, by the day's end, Kevin doesn't need to stress over the thing individuals will say regarding him wearing a dress in view of the long queue of dress-wearing individuals before him. So presently, we had large mom's home 1, 2, and 3. I've never seen media in a jeans suit. I think she weared dresses. So presently, I'm saying, for what reason are we singling out unfortunate little Kevin Hart, since it was his chance next Chile, not Feline Williams uncovering Oprah and Tyler Perry and hauling them for fullness? The roads have been saying for some time that these two are not who they appear to be, and Feline seems, by all accounts, to be affirming this, since he additionally emerged for certain persuading receipts about Oprah and Tyler Perry, as per Feline. Oprah and Tyler Perry have been behind probably the trickiest and shadiest things that have ended up blacking specialists in the business, since they have both purportedly been determined to obliterate different craftsmen so they can remain on top. You all can trust Feline to concoct a few persuading receipts, and that is precisely exact thing he did, on the grounds that he pulled out all the stops, assuming Oprah was watching this. What might you tell her? I would agree that Oprah Winfrey, you understand what you want to do and quit taking cover behind what you call was pessimistic remarks, what you call gracious. I don't for even a moment manage things like that, since what individuals are starting to do is recognize the truth about you. Sophia New Williams just ventured into the Oprah Winfrey circumstance, and things just deteriorated. If you all have a ton of insight into Feline Williams, it's that he never ventures into a circumstance except if he has something vital to express, and for this situation, he has a lot to say. It's insane the way that this all begun with Taraji talking about how Oprah came up short on her for purple, and it has exploded into something more serious. Where's my raise? I haven't seen a raise in that frame of mine since Please Mary, and nearly needed to leave Variety purple. Yes, ma'am. Who got out? Whatever. Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Since you know, imagine a scenario where I don't stand firm. How am I making it simple for Fantas and Danielle and Hand and Felicia? Why, for what reason am I doing this? TJ unexpectedly began the discussion about how Oprah treats dark entertainers, and it only sort of exploded from that point, and Feline Williams is at last coming to offer his opinion about this present circumstance. As per Feline, we've been taking a gander at the circumstance totally off base, and that is the reason we're feeling the loss of the main subtleties he uncovered, that while we've been viewing at the circumstance as Oprah coming up short on Taji and other dark craftsmen, when we ought to discuss how and why Oprah has been functioning over additional time for a really long time to destroy the existences of dark specialists. As per Feline, Oprah isn't the only one in this, since she has been working with Tyler Perry to keep dark entertainers immovably under their influence, since they need to be on top no matter what. And get this, Feline additionally uncovered that this is the same old thing, in light of the fact that Oprah and Tyler have depended on this kind of conduct for a really long time, yet for reasons unknown, they have consistently figured out how to one or the other go unnoticed or put on an act and menace their casualties into quietness, since no one accepted that Oprah and Tyler could do any off base. He brought up that this is exactly the same thing that they did to Monique back in 2009, in light of the fact that Monique shouted out and would not submit to Tyler and Oprah, and disliked Monique was attempting to make things untidy or cause an embarrassment off. She said was no, yet Oprah and Tyler were not anticipating that she should say no, and they didn't deal with it well for some setting. Feline is alluding to the occasions that went down in 2009 after Monique took on a job in Oprah's film Valuable. Oprah and Tyler Perry, both big cheeses in the business with abundant resources, were the makers, so you'd imagine that they would compensate Monique fairly, yet they didn't. And on second thought, they decided to lowball her in spite of the low compensation Monique played the job, and conveyed a heavenly execution in the film. Even now, years after the fact, individuals actually get chills thinking about it. The film ended up being a gigantic hit, provoking Oprah and Tyler P. airy to send off a press visit to push the exposure along. Now here's how things began to veer off track. Monique wasn't precisely excited about the entire press visit thought, since she had proactively satisfied all her legally binding commitments for the film. She'd done her absolute best during the exhibition, checking off every one of the crates in her agreement, yet Oprah and Tyler Perry sprung the press visit on her out of nowhere, and she would have rather not done it. Monique put her foot down. On this one subsequent to being away for such a long time shooting and advancing valuable, she was tingling to at last kick back and invest some quality time with her family and children. Stirring things up around town again for a press visit didn't agree with her. Hesitantly, she buckled and consented to join the visit anyway. There was a significant issue. Oprah and Tyler weren't willing to pay for the press visit currently. It's standard practice for entertainers to get compensated during these visits. Yet, Oprah and Tyler were saving every possible dollar, declining to pay for it, despite the fact that they had previously made millions off the film. To exacerbate the situation, she anticipated that Monique should cover every one of the costs herself: flights, lodgings, hair, and cosmetics, food. Everything. This was a long way from the standard, as these expenses are regularly covered by the creation. And to think Oprah believed Monique should do all that for a film she'd previously been come up short on. 4. It was out and out observe when Monique legitimately rejected. Oprah didn't take it well. As opposed to finding an answer, Oprah chose to flex her impact and began spreading pessimistic reports about Monique. Very much like that, Monique went from being a fabulous entertainer who had an extraordinary exhibition invaluable to abruptly being named as a troublesome individual to work with. Oprah even spread a portion of the talk all alone when she had a meeting, and she said it's a regulation that assuming that you meet pessimistic with pessimistic, you will have a combustive pessimistic power of energy. You can't meet pessimistic negative energy. Where it is, you need to transcend it. You need to rise above it. That was awful, yet as Perfiline, that was not by any means the only time that Oprah and Tyler employed their capacity to the disadvantage of dark specialists, since they kept on doing likewise again and again. Take 50 Penny, for example. Oprah took a hit at his music, guaranteeing it worked up viciousness. Accordingly, 50 let it all out, and he pummeled Oprah for being an Oreo treat. He guarantees that she was just brown outwardly, yet she was furtively white within. He called her out for being dark to look good, yet she sees herself as a piece of the white local area. You all realize that 50 Penny don't play, and he directly upcalled her two-faced. Yet 50 didn't stop there, since he likewise guided out how Oprah has consistently cherished toward put people of color down, and Feline appears to concur with this, since he called attention to how crafty Oprah acted toward Michael Jackson back in 1993. AMJ provided Oprah with a unique meeting in his home in Neverland Farm, and this has gone down as one of the most famous VIP meets ever. And keeping in mind that MJ was alive, Oprah behaved like they were best buds and everything, except she changed around, and in 2019, she talked with two men who used to guarantee that they were supposedly saved by MJ. She exploited the Leaving Neverland narrative and welcomed the men Swim Robson and James Safechuck to her show and addressed them about it. This was really strange in light of the fact that the two men had sworn after swearing to tell the truth that MJ had never said them so. For what reason was Oprah giving them that stage? She attempted to guard herself and say that she was attempting to get regard for say the business, yet Feline is calling BS on this platitude that on the off chance that she was truly significant about uncovering say she would have begun with her old buddies Harvey Weinstein and Jeffrey Epstein, two men who are famous for the various SA charges. And get this, Feline is asserting that he has consistently thought that Oprah